the child discovered a cursed box and unwittingly released the demon sealed within it. The film begins by showing an old woman cleaning her house. For a moment, her eyes are drawn to a wooden box in her living room. She quickly grabs a hammer, preparing to destroy the box. But suddenly, something invisible attacks her, causing several of her bones to break. Fortunately, the woman survives the incident. The scene then shifts to a man named Clyde, who is spending time with his two daughters, Hannah and her younger sister, Emily. Clyde and his ex-wife, also the mother of Hannah and Emily, Stephanie, had decided to get a divorce. The reason was that Clyde was always too busy with work and never made time for their family. Stephanie eventually grew tired of his behavior, feeling that he prioritized work over family. 3 months earlier, their divorce was finalized. By now, Stephanie even has a new boyfriend named Brett.
Clyde, shoes.
Hi, Clyde.
Hey, I'll have him back Sunday after lunch.
Every weekend, Clyde comes to pick up Hannah and Emily to have fun together. Usually, Clyde takes his daughters to his apartment, but this time he has a new house in a suburban neighborhood.
No, he said he'd fix my teeth for free.
Kelly Kitch's first annual Dominico Ryan Celebrity
Is our new house.
When they arrive at the new house, both Hannah and Emily are visibly excited. They are amazed by how beautiful the place is. That evening, they enjoy dinner together while having conversations as a family.
Cheers. Your lives. I know.
Say stuff like that's gonna upset your sister.
Afterward, they all head to bed. The next day, when Clyde, Hannah, and Emily are about to go out, they come across a house holding an estate sale.
How about 55?
55.
They decide to stop by for a while to buy some things they might need. Emily suddenly feels drawn to an old wooden box, which turns out to be the same box we saw at the beginning of the story. Fascinated by it, Emily asks her father to buy it for her. While carrying the box, Emily notices the old woman from the opening scene lying weakly inside her house. Suddenly, the woman begins to rage after seeing the box Emily is holding. Confused by her behavior, Emily chooses to ignore it and walks away. Once they get home, Emily asks Clyde to help her open the box, but instead of assisting her, Clyde answers a phone call from one of his colleagues.
about your future.
What are we talking about? What can I say? Hell yes.
Disappointed, Emily goes back to her room. That night, she cannot sleep because of her curiosity about the mysterious box. Once again, Emily tries to open it, and this time, she succeeds. Inside, she finds strange objects such as a ring, dead insects, a mirror, a tooth, and several other items. The only thing she takes and wears is the ring. The next morning, Emily and Clyde are startled by Hannah's terrified screams. Hannah hysterically shouts because she finds insects inside her room, prompting Clyde to rush in and kill them. Ever since Emily opened the box, she starts to feel strange. She zones out more often and lacks energy in everything she does.
Always bring it fear.
After the weekend ends, Clyde takes Hannah and Emily back to Stephanie's house. He feels a pang of sadness because he can no longer spend time with his family the way he used to. Now Clyde spends his days alone with no one by his side.
Hello?
Time passes, and soon another weekend arrives. Clyde picks up Hannah and Emily again and brings them to his house. He asks his daughters to go inside first while he carries their belongings. Hannah and Emily are shocked to see Clyde's house in a messy state, as if someone had broken in. When Clyde checks, he discovers that it was only the work of a raccoon. That night, as Emily sleeps, she hears the voice of a mysterious entity calling her name, and the strange box begins to open on its own. The next morning, after preparing breakfast, Clyde calls out to Emily several times to come and eat, but she never shows up. Reluctantly, he goes to her room and is shocked to see Emily's reflection in the mirror as if she is possessed by something. However, when he approaches her, it turns out to be only his imagination. At the dining table, Emily behaves strangely, devouring the food quickly without chewing.
And he's got like the most obnoxious voice ever. My mom's making her get
slow
extensions,
down.
and they use real human hair as wigs. And I mean,
Concerned, Clyde asks her to eat more slowly, but instead Emily stabs his hand with a fork. Disturbed by her extreme behavior, Clyde sends Emily back to her room. Hannah, as Emily's older sister, is left deeply confused by her sudden change. Later that night, while Hannah is brushing her teeth, she notices insects flying around. Tracing their source, she realizes they are coming from Emily's room. Clyde immediately rushes in and pulls Emily out of the room. Seeing the insects swarming out of Emily's bedroom, he quickly calls pest control. Afterward, Clyde takes Emily and Hannah back to Stephanie's house. He then asks Stephanie if she's ever noticed Emily acting strangely, because lately Emily has been behaving very differently when staying with him. Emily used to be a cheerful child, but now she has become withdrawn and gloomy. Stephanie believes Emily's change in attitude is simply a result of their divorce, and that she just needs time to return to normal. A few days later, Clyde becomes too busy with work and forgets that he is supposed to attend Hannah's dance recital. He quickly calls Hannah to apologize, but she is already deeply disappointed and refuses to speak with him, instead handing the phone to Emily. During their conversation, Emily tells Clyde not to touch the box in her room, insisting that only she is allowed to handle it. When Clyde gets home, curiosity takes over, and he wonders what makes the box so special that Emily forbids anyone else from touching it. He opens the box and finds only old, worn objects inside. Later, Emily asks Clyde to bring her box to Stephanie's house, but worried that someone might take it, she decides to take the box to school instead. Without realizing it, one of her classmates touches the box, which enrages Emily, causing her to attack the student. Fortunately, her homeroom teacher intervenes to stop the violence. Because of Emily's behavior, the school principal and her homeroom teacher summon Clyde and Stephanie. They explain that Emily has been acting very strangely over the past few weeks, and her violent outburst has gone too far. As punishment, Emily is disciplined and her box is temporarily confiscated by the teacher. That night, while the teacher is alone in the classroom, curiosity drives him to open the box. Suddenly, he is attacked by an invisible force, causing him to fall from a great height and die instantly. The following day, Clyde has lunch with Emily. Strangely, despite her teacher's death, Emily shows no sadness at all. Instead, she urges Clyde to retrieve her box from the classroom, saying that it is very important to her because her new friend lives inside it. Puzzled, Clyde asks Emily if he can meet this new friend, but Emily explains that even she cannot see the entity, let alone anyone else. Hearing this, Clyde becomes convinced that both the box and Emily's so-called friend are the source of her problems. He believes that if Emily had never brought the box home, she would not have changed so drastically. Clyde is certain that the friend inside the box is influencing Emily to act violently and aggressively, so he decides to get rid of the box. When they arrive home, Emily immediately asks about the whereabouts of her box. Clyde tells her that he has thrown it away because he believes it is harmful to her. Hearing this, Emily becomes furious and demands that Clyde reveal where the box is. She then deliberately injures herself in front of Clyde, making it appear as though he had hit her, so that Hannah will believe he is responsible. Emily then runs out of the house to the spot where the box was discarded. After retrieving it, she is seen speaking to an invisible entity. Suddenly, a swarm of moths emerges and enters her mouth, causing her to collapse and lose consciousness.
My dad does.
Clyde quickly carries Emily back home, but to his shock, Stephanie arrives at the house with several police officers. It turns out Hannah had called her mother, claiming that Clyde had been violent toward Emily. As a result, Clyde is accused of abuse. Hannah testifies that her father struck Emily, and when the doctor examines her, bruises are found on her fingers. In reality, Clyde never harmed her. The bruises were caused by the ring from the box. Despite this, Clyde is charged, and the court rules that he is no longer allowed to see his daughters. Clyde tries to explain the truth to Stephanie, but she's already furious and refuses to listen to anything he has to say. Now Clyde has only one goal: to uncover the origin of the box that has changed Emily. He meets with a history professor at a university to ask about the box's background. From the professor's analysis, the box is identified as a dybbuk box, created around the 1920s in Poland by Jewish people. In Jewish belief, particularly within the Hasidic sect, a dybbuk box was used to seal away a malevolent spirit whose power rivaled that of a demon. This explains why the box is so difficult to open, ensuring the entity within cannot escape. Clyde continues his research and discovers that anyone who opens the box will become possessed by the evil spirit inside. He becomes convinced that Emily's change in behavior is due to her possession by the entity inhabiting the dybbuk box. To test his suspicion, Clyde secretly visits Stephanie's house to see Emily.
Dad!
He begins reading passages from the Bible, and Emily's expression immediately shifts, showing discomfort at his words. Suddenly, the Bible is flung from his hands, convincing Clyde that the force came from the demon inside Emily.
From devastating pestilence, air of night, know that.
At that moment, Stephanie arrives and angrily throws Clyde out of the house. Realizing what is happening to Emily, Clyde goes to the headquarters of the Hasidic sect to ask how the spirit can be sealed again. There, he meets a member named Zadok, who takes him to see his father, Rebbe, the leader of the sect.
Rebbe Shapir wants to know where you got.
When Clyde presents the dybbuk box, the other members recoil in fear. Rebbe explains that the demon inside the box is seeking a new host, and that there are stages to possession. First, the victim hears mysterious voices. Then they begin to see the entity. And finally, the spirit enters their body and consumes their soul until it fully takes control. At this point, Emily's soul is already being devoured, and if nothing is done, her body will permanently become the demon's vessel. Clyde asks if they can perform an exorcism, but Rebbe warns that such a ritual is highly dangerous and not recommended. The only safe method to reseal the demon inside the dybbuk box is by calling its true name. But unfortunately, no one knows what it is. Clyde desperately pleads for their help, but the sect refuses. Disheartened, Clyde leaves, only to be approached by Zadok, who offers to help him discover the demon's name. Together, they set out to find Emily. During their journey, Zadok carefully examines the dybbuk box, hoping to find a clue. Eventually, he becomes suspicious of the mirror inside the box. When he smashes it, they finally uncover the demon's name, Abyzou, a female spirit known for abducting children.
There has to be a name, Abyzou.
Meanwhile, at Stephanie's house, she hears strange noises coming from the kitchen. When she checks, she finds Emily behaving erratically, smashing objects in a violent outburst. Stephanie tries to calm her down, but Emily suddenly disappears, only to reappear behind her mother holding a shard of glass. The demon compels Emily to kill Stephanie, but before anything worse can happen, Emily momentarily regains control of herself. The next day, while Brett is washing his car, he notices Emily staring at him with an unsettling gaze. Moments later, a strong gust of wind blows, and Brett's teeth begin to fall out one by one. Horrified, Brett flees from Stephanie's house. Soon after, Emily suffers a seizure and collapses, unconscious. Alarmed, Stephanie rushes her to the hospital, while Hannah calls Clyde to inform him of Emily's critical condition. Clyde and Zadok immediately head to the hospital. There, Emily undergoes an X-ray, and to their shock, Stephanie and Hannah see a terrifying face inside Emily's body. Stunned, Stephanie cannot comprehend how such a thing is possible. Shortly after, Clyde and Zadok arrive, and Clyde explains to Stephanie that Emily is possessed by a powerful demon. He and Zadok intend to perform a sealing ritual to trap the spirit once more. Desperate to save her daughter, Stephanie agrees, and they move Emily to a quiet, isolated room.
This essence will bind the prayer.
Zadok prepares the ritual to summon the demon, but Abyzou fights back fiercely, overwhelming everyone present. In a desperate act, Clyde forces the demon to enter his own body instead.
Guys, this is not right.
Okay.
Zadok quickly chants prayers and calls out Abyzou's name, compelling the demon to retreat back into the box. At last, the spirit is successfully sealed again. The next day, Clyde feels overjoyed because Emily has finally been freed from the terror of the evil spirit. He is also grateful to once again experience the warmth and harmony of his family. Clyde realizes that his family is the most precious treasure he has, far more valuable than money or status. Determined not to repeat his past mistakes, he resolves to focus on his family. It seems that Clyde and Stephanie may even rekindle their relationship as husband and wife. Clyde then calls Zadok to thank him for his help, as it was thanks to him that the demon was successfully sealed away. The plan is to keep the dybbuk box containing Abyzou in a place where no one can reach it. In the final scene, Zadok is shown driving his car. After finishing his phone call with Clyde, his vehicle is suddenly struck by a large truck. The crash kills Zadok instantly, while the box falls onto the road. This implies that the dybbuk box may be discovered by someone else curious enough to open it, unleashing Abyzou's terror once again, and thus, the story comes to an end.